And now, part 5 of Facebook is Our Future.
Part of my research for this video series involved days upon weeks of searching YouTube for videos about people complaining about being banned or suspended from either their Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook accounts. I must have pored over hours of footage of constant complaining.
Of my regular account and blocked me for 7 days. That's another thing. So I made a new J-Ray page, and it wasn't even up 15 minutes, and they closed me down on that. So I want to say, fuck you, Facebook. Fuck you, Mark Zuckerberg.
And what troubled me most were the stories of people being banned from various accounts because programs could not understand the context in which so-called hate speech was being posted. There were many cases regarding people on Twitter who complained about direct messaging a friend they knew in real life, using vulgarity because, well, that's just the way they talk to each other, and the bots erroneously interpreted the vulgarity as cyberbullying, and as a result their account was suspended. So, algorithms or special software, they're not going to work because they can't understand context. But confrontational reactions from humans, such as banning accounts, suspending accounts, banning users, and censoring comments, etc., are also not the answer. Suppressing one's speech means escalating pressure within the aggressor, and eventually that pressure has the potential to explode. Furthermore, banning users, censoring comments, and the like serves to feed the ego of that particular individual. Banning, censoring, or suppressing speech also serves to reinforce a mythical outlaw image, He-Man, master of his own universe persona that the troll themselves work hard to cultivate. And in some cases, all that hard work can eventually pay dividends. A real-life example that kind of parallels what I'm talking about here occurred on October 19th, 2017. An individual named Richard Spencer was set to give a speech at the University of Florida, and apparently this speech was so dangerous that the quick-acting Governor Rick Scott declared a state of emergency and activated the Florida National Guard. Meanwhile, the University of Florida spent $500,000 for security to prepare for this dangerous speech. One can only imagine the ego boost that this individual received from all this attention, and how such attention emboldens and encourages the very same behavior that university officials were trying to discourage in the first place. This example in Florida, as well as, say, the events that happened in Charlottesville, for example, could one day serve as valuable case studies on how not to deal with undesirable people online. What if we didn't launch counter-protests at Charlottesville? What if we didn't throw rocks at vehicles that didn't belong to us? What if we didn't call out the National Guard? What if we didn't buy into corporate media's manufactured mass hysteria? In fact, what if we completely ignored all of this and just went on with our lives? The problem with telling someone to ignore something they don't like is that sooner or later they will be confronted with that something, making it completely impossible to ignore. Case in point, Have you ever tried really, really, really hard to ignore Hollywood celebrity news, only to be confronted with it in the form of a small screen display inside of a gasoline pump? How do you ignore something like that? It's not easy. Getting back to the example of Charlottesville, though, what if the shoe was on the other foot now? What if, instead of Confederate statues, we started tearing down Holocaust memorials, such as the one in San Francisco and the one in Miami Beach? What if we tore down the Anne Frank Human Rights Memorial in Boise, Idaho, because people thought it was a relic from the old world? Could we reasonably expect the people who care about those things to simply ignore it? No, of course not. So let's quickly recap what we have learned here about controlling hate speech on the internet. We learned that machine learning software, programs, algorithms can detect trolls faster than any human being. And because time is money, that's great for corporate profit earnings. Problem is that until corporations put a functioning human brain inside one of their machines to make them self-aware, they will never be as accurate as any human moderator. They simply cannot comprehend the nuances of human behavior in their current form. They don't understand context and the intricacies of human thought patterns. If the consequences from that result in the termination of your worthless Twitter account, that's one thing altogether. But if those same consequences begin to threaten your livelihood, as was evidence with YouTube's adpocalypse, then that's something else entirely far more serious. We also learned that banning and suspending certain people's accounts can actually make a bad problem even worse. And finally, we learned that simply ignoring a problem doesn't always make it go away. So then, what is the answer? Well, I will reveal the answer, or answers, I should say, that Facebook will come up with in dealing with online trolls. But before I do, I should first explain how comment sections will appear in the future. From there, I will proceed to explain to you the real reason why online news publishers, journalists, college professors, moderators, and others love the virtual format so much. After that, I will conclude this section by revealing to you how hate speech will be handled in Facebook's future. Okay, first of all, there will be many ways in which to receive news content in virtual reality. You can simply view a television newscast inside of your VR environment, or if it is content from a website, you can read text as it scrolls vertically, horizontally, or any other way right out of thin air. You can also remove the text and simply listen to an audio version if you'd prefer. You can also modify your environment settings so that your favorite celebrity reads the news to you. Typing or reading text on a small screen in the year 2030 will be considered archaic behavior. It will be the equivalent to using a text-based web browser in the year 2017. Sure, you can do it, but you are not getting the full experience of what the internet has to offer. And besides, why would you even want to? All of your friends have long since ditched their smartphones, gotten with the program, and signed up for a Facebook account to join the VR revolution. So, where are you? Where are you? When you want to post a comment or reply to a comment in virtual reality, you simply enter a room with other people and just open your mouth and speak your mind to anyone who will listen. Or, If you wish to communicate using just your thoughts decoded into text according to Facebook's Regina Dugan, you'll be able to do that too.
So what
It's that
if
easy.
you could type
Through the
directly from
power
your
of
brain?
Facebook, you can connect
It
face to
sounds
face with other
impossible, but
people
it's
in real
closer than you
time,
may
giving
realize.
you the ultimate social experience. Now, online publishers, writers, editors, critics, moderators, college professors, and other sheltered academics absolutely love the new virtual commenting system. In their minds, VR represents the lost puzzle piece that they have been searching for years to combat so-called hate speech, disinformation, basic vulgarity, troll comments, but most importantly, anything they perceive to be considered as propaganda. Simply put, what appeals to many about this new virtual commenting system is its ephemeral nature, its out of sight, out of mind nature, its live for today, gone tomorrow nature. You see, there is no archived, publicly accessible written account of what goes on in these virtual chat rooms. If you say something inspirational, educational, or profound, if you dispense knowledge, information, or wisdom that others may learn and benefit from, only the people that happen to be in the chat room at the same time you are will get to hear it. There is no chat transcript for the simple fact that, again, you are no longer typing comments anymore. You are speaking them. And in the minds of many, that makes all the difference. It is at this point that we begin to see the two-faced duality and twisted genius of the virtual commenting system. On the one hand, there is no censorship. You can say whatever you want. But on the other hand, only a very small fraction of any given news article's total number of visitors will actually hear what you have to say, thus rendering the purpose of your comments absolutely pointless. The problem of hate speech, then, takes care of itself in a variety of ways. Number one, as I mentioned above, the action of allowing the troll the freedom to say and do whatever he wants is tempered by the act of taking away much of the troll's audience. And without an audience, who then do the performers actually perform for? The second way in which Facebook will handle hate speech in the virtual environment is by individuals blocking or ghosting, as it will be referred to, as other users that offend them. Rather than human or non-human moderators babysitting various comment sections, in the future, Facebook will put the responsibility of comment moderation arguably where it should have been all along, and that is in the hands of the individual users themselves. This video here by The Verge, entitled "Welcome to the World of Trolling in VR," kind of scratches the surface and provides a bit of a glimpse into what we might expect. Of course, Facebook will take this concept and refine it and expand upon it even further. The third and final way in which Facebook will handle hate speech online is simply through each user maintaining a healthy and attractive personality model. What is a personality model? It is the subject of the next topic I talk about in this video, and it defines your very existence inside the virtual world.